Hey everyone, Jim Gonzalez here, EDI support. So it's another wonderful Wednesday. It's actually a little sunny here in Pennsylvania. Weather's getting warmer. Kids are soon going to be out of school. So if you're a parent just like me, you're not looking forward to the kids being out of school, especially when you work out of house. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about reality in EDI what SMBs really need versus what they get. There's a lot of different things that happen. When we're talking SMB. SMB stands for small and medium-sized businesses. With those businesses, a lot of the different times that they reach out is they're reaching out because, hey, we're looking to, especially a smaller size business, hey, we're looking to get into EDI. We've never done EDI. We don't know what EDI is, but we would love to get into dealing with these other companies. And they say in order for us to do that, we have to be EDI compliant. Well, EDI compliant, as weird as it sounds, all you really need to do is sign up for an account with an EDI provider. And that could take you an hour. And now all of a sudden, guess what? You're EDI compliant. There is no compliancy or organization that's going to test you out and make sure that you have knowledge of EDI on staff or outsourced or any of those type of things. So get that out of your head. When they think of compliancy, think of literally, do you have a way of handling EDI, NCX12, Edifact, Tradecoms, all the different flavors of EDI? Whether that's using a platform, software that you have, an iPass, or software on-prem, any of those type of things for handling EDI processing will make you EDI compliant, EDI certified, however you want to look at it. So let's first get that out of there. And then let's get into what are some of the common challenges SMBs face when choosing EDI solutions. So a lot of times what these SMBs need is they need ease of use, high level of customer service, just somebody that really has their back. I like to say cost effective. Some people call it cheap. SMBs are really trying to understand, where are they going to see the return on investment? Where are they going to have somebody that's going to have their back? Where are they going to have somebody that's going to pass along the knowledge to them if they don't have somebody on staff or already a resource for helping them out? When they're looking at these different platforms, or they're looking at, software to put on-prem, they want a nice, easy to use user interface. And some of them don't want to see anything. Some of them just want total hands off, do it for me, send me a PDF or an email of that representation of a purchase order or a claim or whatever, but do it all behind the scenes. I don't even need a platform. I just want to hand it to you. You do it, and we'll call it a day. Not every SMB fits into one box, but typical SMBs, they want it to be simplistic. They want pricing that's straightforward. They don't want all kinds of complexities when pricing comes about. They want to know that it's easy. They want to know that the solution that they're being provided has minimum training and documentation, and it's easy for their team to adapt to utilizing. They don't want to have to spend, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to implement an EDI system and then never see how easy it is to use, or the return on investment, or any of those type of things. Like, I just had a conversation with a trucking outfit that is looking to replace. So they're an SMB, but they already have an EDI solution. They're looking to replace a solution that's been on-prem for over 20 years. They're looking for something that, again, is ease of use, does what it needs to do, it's bulletproof, but has an easy return on investment, because they're in their trucking facility, they're actually handling a lot of different organizations. And some of those organizations, they're not seeing a big big return profit, however you want to say it. They're doing EDI as a service to just say, hey, mom and pop shops, we can do EDI, or these other outfits, we can do EDI. They're compliant with EDI. So they basically add everybody. Now, do I agree with that approach? Not necessarily. I think a trading partner needs to hit a certain level in order for EDI to be the investment that you want to do, unless you're looking to gain a huge investment. Like another company I talked to, they're saying, hey, we're doing like 100, 200 pallets a week, okay, of product that they're moving. And this is a retail entity. And they're looking to get in with a major grocery entity. That grocery entity is probably going to make that 200-300 pallets become 400-500 pallets per week. Well, if you're looking to double or triple or add 30% onto your business just by one trading partner of EDI, figure that out. That return on investment can be huge. And now you're out in the marketplace and people know, you can say, hey, yeah, I'm EDI compliant. We're doing EDI with XYZ. So what I'm getting at is everybody needs to look at themselves as individuals, but it needs to be simplistic. It needs to have a nice user interface, typically. It needs to have straightforward pricing. It needs to have these things that check off the boxes so that SMBs can say, hey, this makes sense, especially if they're new to EDI. If they're existing with EDI, they already have their pain points. They already know what they don't like of their existing system and what they're looking to replace. Whether that existing system has essentially aged out or it has issues or whatever it is, they know those pain points, they know the pricing, they know all of those things. So the pros and cons are already there. If they're brand new, they are trying to figure out what are the pros and cons for doing EDI. So SMBs that I've seen, when they're looking at cloud-based solutions, the cloud-based solutions are easy because now we don't have to install anything. They don't have to install anything. They simply log into a portal. They basically they're handing it off to what I typically refer to as a third-party provider or a managed service, however you want to look at it. And that provider should be doing everything for them. Total white glove service, talking with trading partners, getting the EDI interaction set up, doing all of those things, because those SMB businesses, those businesses, they typically don't have somebody. And if they do, that somebody maybe does 6 different hats. They might not just do EDI. They might do EDI and they set up the network and they do all these other things that they're like, yeah, I'm called the EDI analyst or EDI person, but really I don't just do that. I do all these other things, all the other multi-hats. Or they want to move to a cloud because, again, they're losing staff members or whatever it may be. So cloud-based solutions should be easy to access, understand how they're handling, the number of users, number of documents. They're looking to reduce the need for in-house IT infrastructure because typically with a cloud-based solution, you can access it using a laptop, an iPad, some of them a cell phone, any of those type of things. So they make it easy that you can be anywhere and you don't need to worry about a server. You don't need to be worrying about any of those type of things. They want to have efficient document transmission. So making sure that those documents are reliably being processed or that there's error notifications when they don't happen so that they know without having to jump all around a system and say, oh, well, okay, so I sent these documents. Now I got to look at these 997s that have errored out or an 824 or an 864, or I got to reach out to the trading partner and say, hey, did you get them? They don't want to look foolish. They want to look so that the system is basically running on its own. And anytime they need to monitor, maybe they get an email, maybe they can just run a report on a daily basis. Maybe some of those things that are really going to highlight where there's an issue and when there's an issue and how to resolve it. So again, keeping it simple and simplistic and easy to function and user interface, reporting capabilities, all of those things, because they're not EDI savvy and they don't want to be. That's what they're reaching out to you for. That's what they're reaching out and they're finding an EDI service provider. And they're doing those things. SMBs, unless they really want to feel as though they can bring it in-house and handle it all themselves, they just want to do it. They just want to know it works. And if it fails, they want to be notified and told how to fix it. And along with that, they want to have customer service when error notifications. Those customer service levels need to really be there. What's the response time? How quick are they getting back to you? All of those things, because SMBs know if it's a trailer, say they're shipping a truckload and they get errors, if that truck comes back with a fine per carton, they literally could have just sent a trailer load of product for free and owe the trading partner. So if documents fail or documents are not correct or labels aren't correct, SMBs are looking for a handhold. They're looking for somebody to say, hey, we got your back. We're here. We understand. Not say, hey, we'll get back to you in 2 or 3 days. So a lot of times they're asking me, like, what's the responsiveness? How quick do they get back to me? How many different vendors am I dealing with this? Because a lot of them don't want to deal with multiple vendors. I'm starting to see a trend where different EDI providers are going out there and they say, hey, we just do X, Y, and Z. We do the file movement. We do the trading partner setups. We interact with APIs to get both systems to talk to. But if you want to do the mapping, hey, we can use style sheets or XLSTs. We can use all those things, but you're going to have to use you're going to have to get a mapper to do that. You know, there's plenty of mappers out there, but we don't have a mapper built in. That kind of rubs me the wrong way, because now you're giving them a system that doesn't have everything that's inclusive that's needed for EDI, for mapping, for translations, for all of those things. You're actually asking somebody to bring somebody else in, another vendor, to handle that piece. Well, as somebody that's been doing this for a long time, mapping's a big piece. And if you're not doing that, then really, what are you fully doing? You're just, to me, you're a glorified MFT. And I'm not trying to knock people. I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. But mapping is huge when it comes to EDI, because it leads me into a different topic. There's compliancy with trading partner requirements. So being compliant is a part of the mapping, is part of getting documents out on time, is a part of, if there is an error, seeing the error, fixing the error, resending the documents, and doing those type of things. So all of those things are there, and all of those things need to be in a system, typically for an SMB, because they don't have all the resources to do all the research. They need it to be easy. They need an easy user interface. They need to be compliant for those trading partners, because they don't want to have multiple interactions with a trading partner. So if you're looking at a system that's basically saying, well, you do all the project management, you handle the interactions with the trading partners, you do all of the testing through the testing facilities, and we'll answer any questions you have. And again, I see this right now on a migration for somebody, and it baffles me, because I'm like, no, wait, they're moving to your platform. The move or the migration requires testing by this trading partner's testing facility, because your client is switching EDI services, and it's on them, the client, to work through the testing with the trading partner, even though it's your managed platform. Think that through. It doesn't make sense. They should be all over that, working with, because now once you're migrated and you're up and running and you're live, well, guess what? People don't realize on the back end, once EDI is set up and it's successful and it's running and it's doing its thing, there's a lot of money being made in EDI managed services, because the data is flowing. Once the data is flowing, it's literally like a wishing well. People throwing money into that wishing well. It's just there. It's running. It's doing its thing. Like, think about that. The timer and the clicker is just happening. The register is clicking. You're getting that money. So you would think, and managed service would really be wanting to do that for SMBs and be all over that, because again, once the documents start flowing and they start interacting, it starts working. There's another piece that you have to check out is, as an SMB, when does that ticketing start? When do you start to get charged? Some of these entities start charging you right away for every single trading partner. So if you have 5 trading partners, you're in testing, no documents are moving. I get them charging you for implementation, but now you're going to charge me for documents I'm not even processing through your system because I signed a contract, and that contract started on May 1st, but we're almost through May and I haven't even gotten one document through. Why am I paying for a hypothetical amount of documents that I haven't even seen come into the system? Think that one through. Review these contracts and see, do they make sense to you? Would you do that? Would you pay a cell phone provider that said, hey, I'm going to give you a cell phone, but you can't make any phone calls for 3 months? Well, why not? I'm paying for the minutes, or I'm paying for the access. Well, it's not in the system yet. We haven't fully moved your number over. It doesn't make sense, people. So SMBs really need to start looking at those type of things, looking at the responsiveness. They also need to understand the reality of EDI solutions for SMBs. There's promises versus needs. You know, a lot of the entities that you're talking to when you're calling these companies are salespeople. They've never implemented EDI in their life. They just went through some training, picked it up over time, and have never written a map, never set up SFTP, never set up AS2, never done all those things. And they're going to make promises to you of how they're going to get this set up, how long it typically takes, all of those things. Think that through. If you're only having access as an SMB and you're looking to hand this product off and you're looking to outsource it, shouldn't you want to talk to some of their technical staff to hear what they have to say? Hopefully they're being honest and they're not feeding you a line. So, highlight how some of the basically EDI providers on the market with their solutions with a plethora of advanced features and high pricing. So all of these entities that are out there, what we're getting at, have these big, robust solutions and these things that they offer. But what do you actually use? What reports, what analytics, what features inside of these platforms do you actually use? Half the time, you're just looking for this system as an SMB just to run. You don't care about all these other things. Could they occur? Yeah, they can. They can come up. Sales department might ask for, a sales data analysis or all these different things. But typically as an SMB, from what I've seen, a lot of them don't even use the bells and whistles. They don't care. Again, they want this to be full functioning, easy to use. They're looking at what's going on, what does it look like? A lot of these entities that are out there that are service providers are trying to get you on the, well, look what we got. Okay, that's cool. You got all these fun features that I'm never going to use, and nobody on my team's ever going to ask me for it. How about customer service, easy to use, moving data, straightforward pricing, easy contract renewals, those type of things. Transparency. So think that through when you're looking at what's out there and what you're looking to bring up. A lot of them say, well, we're higher cost because of all these things. The big thing is it really doesn't matter. The cost value, and I always say this, cost is interpretive of the buyer. Think of that. Cost is interpretive of the buyer. So if a buyer says you're worth X, that's what you're eventually, and multiple buyers say you're worth X, that's what you're worth. You can't go off of one, but if you have 100 that tell you, hey, listen, your pricing is high, it doesn't make sense. Well, guess what? It doesn't make sense. And everybody in the provider world is always like, well, I want to compete in pricing with Clio, or I want to compete in pricing with SPS. And I'm like, folks, be your own entity. What do you offer? What's the same? What's not the same? What do you think it's worth? What does it cost to set up a server, to move data anymore? Think about that. Costs on virtual servers have gone down dramatically. Has the pricing on EDI gone down? No. Why? They're going to say because of the amount of people that we need. Because people's health insurance has gone up and all these things have gone up. And I'm going to tell you, the reality is this. Most of these service providers don't have the staff to handle all the customers that they got from a technical aspect. So start analyzing and looking at what do they bring to the table? What do they have? Talk to people that truly know what's out there and what truly matters as being simple, effective, affordable EDI solution that ensures compliance and facilitates smooth operations. You want the reporting that's going to notify you if there's an issue. You want the things and the functions and the features that are there. A lot of clients and a lot of companies that reach out and they'll talk to me and they'll say, hey, we want to bring this in-house. Well, that eventually is 3, 4, 5 years down the road, or even longer. The reality is they don't have the time. So a lot of your SMBs will almost never bring this in-house because they don't have the time. They don't have the people. They want to hand this off. This isn't what they're focused on. They're focused on doing these things that make sense. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. I'm here to answer. I'm here to help. Jim Gonzalez, EDI Support LLC. All of our links are in the comments, the details section. Please comment, please like, please share, please do all those things because I'm trying to get the word out, just trying to help educate. And if there's things that you want to talk about, let me know. I'm all about it. We will figure it out. If you ever want to join me and you want to come in and be on these type of LinkedIn live sessions, reach out too. So I hope you have a great day. I will be talking to you next Wednesday. You take care and start to enjoy that weather because it's getting nice out there. Take care, everybody.